Nothing interesting is really going to happen in this episode, so we're going to do something a little different. This will be a dramatic reading of The Runaway, a story written by Skygirl of Asgard. It starts with an author's note. I posted this story a few months ago, but took it down. But here it is again. A special thanks to Leader Lever Lost for sending me a PM about it. I do know that some of my characters are kind of, a lot, OOC. If you have a real problem with that, feel free to PM me about it, or just stop reading the fic. I will take corrections. Disclaimer, tilde. I don't own Star Wars. Disney does, though. I do own Bella Clovis. Chapter 1. It is always them that end up all alone, miserable in the streets, running away from society and everyone that could possibly help them. Those children. The ones considered privileged children, maybe even rich children. The ones that were whispered to have perfect lives, yet they were probably the most miserable. She was only 14, Leia Skywalker, when she lost herself in being miserable. Some are older, 17 or 18. Others are even younger, 11 or 12. It's just terrible. Everyone just assumed, since she was practically famous, since her parents were, her life was just sunshine and rainbows. No way. That was not true. Not at all. Page break.
How's your perfect little family, Your Highness?
A snarky voice asked from behind Leia, stalking over the girl's rather tiny figure. It was a girl's voice, and Leia turned around to see it was Bella Clovis. Needless to say, the two of them were not on good terms. Daughter of Senator Rush Clovis herself, she envied the fact that Anakin and Padme were considered famous by the HoloNet, while she was the result of a night with a little too much alcohol. Bella's father wasn't the most popular in the Senate, and although Bella was the most popular girl in school, haven't the weird girl with no friends parent be better than her father? It hurt. I have no idea what that meant. We're fine. But do you really feel the need to call me off as being royalty? 'Cause I'm not. Leia replied sharply as she dug through her locker to find her last period datapad. Bella snapped her bright pink bubble gum and smirked.
Ah, what a shame. They haven't told you to kill yourself yet, idiots.
And about the name, I kind of have to call them as I see them, princess asshole. Leia bit her lip and tried to roll her eyes as she pulled out her datapad from her rather messy locker. Bella had been mean to her since 5th grade, the first day they met. That was when Bella had found out about her mother. It was announced during a meeting between a group of senators, including Padme and Rush Clovis. Bella was with her father, wanting to know what had happened to her. Leia was with her mother, wanting to learn about the Senate and such. Bella was absolutely horrified when she had heard the story. Rush had had a little too much to drink at a club and woke up with a strange and satisfied woman in his bed. She gave birth to Bella, left her with Rush, then went off somewhere to get drunk again. Leia tried to be nice and comfort the girl, but she took it as an insult, screaming at her, "I don't want your help, Princess Brett." Ever since, Bella had been out to make Leia's life miserable. After a minute of examining Leia, she tossed her dark red hair over her shoulder and sashayed away with an evil smirk on her face, as if to say, "I have the world wrapper around my finger." Leia sighed and slammed her locker door closed, using all of the emotions, mostly anger, bubbled up inside of her. Anakin had tried to teach her to control her anger, telling her that she could be closer to the dark side if she didn't, but it was too hard for her. Luke, of course, had got it down, being the perfect Jedi. It wasn't that Leia envied her twin in any way. She had made it very clear when she was little that she didn't want to be a Jedi. She wanted to follow her mother's footsteps and become a member of the Senate. And Anakin made it very clear that no matter what choice his daughter made, she would always be his little girl, even if she couldn't control her anger and sometimes took it out at random times. Then again, it wasn't all Leia's fault. Anakin's old master had talked to both of the twins about him. He said that Anakin had much anger in him at times, and once brushed dangerously close to the dark side. Padme also commented on how much her husband and daughter were alike. She had his genes. Rebellious, cocky, maybe over-angry at times. But Leia knew that it wasn't just that to cause her anger bursts. It was Bella too. That idiot. ... Always beating down on Leia about killing herself. Though Leia hadn't told anyone about her being bullied, it was just better to keep to herself. It would just cause more trouble, on top of the trouble at home. ... Did you guys like it? Hate it? Love it? Please review, close parentheses. Is the space battle still going on? I thought for sure if I read the first chapter that story, the space battle would be over. Alright, well, let's move on to chapter 2 of this epic saga. Chapter 2. Author's note. Thanks for the review. Follows and favorites, guys. Open parentheses, : Disclaimer. I don't own Star Wars. I wish I could, but I can't. Disney does. I do own Bella Clovis, though. Leia arrived to the norm. Padme was cooking dinner in the kitchen. Luke was hanging upside down off of the couch playing a holo game, and Anakin was in the garage tinkering with speeder parts. She threw her bag down to the ground and kicked off her black flats. "I'm home," she called out. "Just in time for dinner," Padme called back. It was one of the things Leia hated about going to a fancy university. She would get home at 1800 standard hours, so the minute she got home, it would be time for dinner. Luke threw himself off of the couch and entered the kitchen alongside his twin. "Where's your father?" Padme asked softly, brushing one of her dark curls over her ear and shifting her feet.
Right here, my love.
Anakin replied from behind her, kissing her on the cheek and squeezing her hand. She smiled and tilted her head up to face her husband. "Annie," she sighed, and their lips met only briefly, interrupted when Luke groaned and muttered, "Can't you guys get a room when you want to make out?" The kiss was broken, and Anakin shot a mock glare at his son.
Get your own room. I like this one just fine.
Page break. Dinner had gone by, and quite frankly, no one had asked Leia how her day was. On the inside, she was glad no one did. Day after day, things just got worse and worse, though the young Skywalker was very good at using her mental shields so no one would know. Because, it's not like her dad has mind powers. Anyway, all Padme and Anakin would get was, "It was okay," and they'd probably gotten sick of it. I'm not sure why they got "it was okay," since they weren't asking. So, whatever. There was trouble at home, too. Not that obviously shown. There was a problem in the Senate. Salaries were being cut down very low, sending Padme into a frenzy. When she was stressed out, well, there was nothing really to explain about that. To add to the stress, the twins both suspected something was up with their mother. She seemed ... different at times. That probably had led to the arguing. Even though Anakin and Padme tried to keep it to time when the twins were in bed, it wasn't that they only pretended to love each other. They did really love each other. Overall, it was just very confusing. Luke could shrug it off. They'd be okay. Leia worried. "Well, what if they got a divorce and Dad moves out and we'll only get to see him 2 days a week because we live with Mom?" she would ask, ignoring her twins' eye rolls and groans. Leia looked up from her food to listen to the conversation going on in front of her. "So what are we going to do about it? You know the university costs us a lot of money," Anakin commented, glancing slightly at his daughter. The minute the word university was said, Leia knew. "Are you guys talking about me?" She wished she hadn't totally zoned out during her parents' conversation. Padme and Anakin shared a look, and Padme cleared her throat. Yeah. Well, Leia, we got a calm message from your headmaster saying stuff about how you kind have a bit of an anger issue, and how you kind of have a bad attitude, and... Oh." Leia shot up out of her chair and glared dagger at both of her parents.
Bad attitude, anger issues. So what now? Are you gonna tax me out of school?
Luke sighed and murmured under his breath, "Oh, Lay, please."
Nay, come on, you know. Hyphen.
Anakin started, trying to calm his baby girl, but she cut him off.
Yes, I know I'll be dead before you take me out of school. I'll end my life early.
Padme's heart almost stopped beating when she heard that. Suicide? Her daughter wanted to kill herself? Leia, no, please, it's not like that. No, not at all, she cried out, afraid to start crying like an idiot. Leia knocked her plate on the floor, and it shattered, sprawling pieces all over the place. Anakin clenched his fist, trying to control the emotions that ran through his veins. His daughter left the table and stormed up the stairs, Padme instantly getting up to follow Leia, calling out, "Wait, Leia!" Luke sighed and stared hopefully at his father. "Now what?" he asked wistfully. Anakin groaned and slammed his head on the table. Wish he hadn't witnessed what he'd just witnessed. "Dad?" Luke asked uncertainly, staring at Anakin with surprise. "It sucks," he muttered, ignoring Luke, but lifting his head up. "Dad?" I know. Author's note. Love it? Hate it? Let me know. I hope you enjoyed that story, brothers and sisters. There's 5 more chapters, but... I hope you learned something today. For instance, today I learned that having people be jealous of you is way worse than having actual problems. And I learned that it's completely possible to be a Jedi Knight and stay-at-home dad. See you next time.